Good morning, and thank you for joining us for today's webinar on unlocking the potential for IREX for Sri Lanka. As many of you know, IREX, or International Renewable Energy Certificates, are becoming a powerful tool for companies and countries to meet their renewable energy goals. For Sri Lanka, this presents a timely opportunity to attract green investments, boost clean energy generation, and participate actively in global carbon markets. So today we are really excited to have with us a great set of speakers and who bring a mix of local expertise and international experience in carbon market, sustainability, and renewable energy. First, we are happy to welcome Mr. Rukman, who is the
Hi.
country head for Sri Lanka.
Hi.
And Rukman is a highly experienced business leader with about 2 decades of experience, and he's currently focused on climate investments, carbon portfolio management, and ESG advisory. He brings a strong local perspective on how Sri Lanka can tap into IREC opportunity and scale its climate action. Next, we have Ms. Neetu Yadav, who is the carbon trading manager at ProClime. Neetu has a solid background in carbon management and emission reduction. She's passionate about sustainability and is actively involved in building practical solutions that can make a real impact on the ground. And also with us is joining Mr. Boobalan. He's the Renewable Energy Lead Portfolio Manager. He has worked with about 650 REC and IREC projects across different regions. He has about a decade years of experience. He understands in the ins and outs of how IREC works and how organizations can benefit from them, especially in markets like Sri Lanka. So,
Hello. Thank you, Abhishek.
and before we begin, I'd also like to bring just a quick note to all the participants. Please feel free to post any of your questions in the Q&A section at any time during the session. We'll be addressing them towards the end. We really look forward to hearing from our speakers. So without further delay, let's get started. Over to you, Mr. Rukman, please.
Okay, thank you, Abhishek. And once again, good evening to all the participants. Thank you for joining for this IREX Sri Lanka presentation. So to start up in my presentation, I will try to introduce who we are, what ProClime does, and also a brief glimpse of why IREX for Sri Lanka. So to start up, to say that who we are, I think we can go to the next slide, please. Okay, about ProClime. So ProClime is a climate-first unified service provider based out of Singapore, having headquarters in Chennai, India, and having full-fledged operations in Sri Lanka. Our focus is on facilitating transition to net zero through carbon projects, carbon trading, climate investment, and advisory service. So as a company, our mission is to create a pro-climate world where the climate crisis will be recognized as an opportunity and to generate lasting, impactful, and deepen sustainable practices and bring about sustainable climate initiatives under our management. Apart from that, ProClime has a vision to bring the power of the markets into the climate. So as I mentioned, we create the projects based on our expertise. That's not going to be enough. We have the power of bringing the market aspects as well, where that additional strength will definitely provide the global network a better understanding and better opportunity to invest into climate and climate projects. So based on these two key objectives, the company as of now currently working on 6 major climate projects, out of which 2 projects are based in Sri Lanka, which are nature-based projects. And out of all these projects, the emissions under management is about 9 million metric tons. And as climate projects suggest that we actually contribute to the 17 SDG goals directly as well as indirectly. As of now, the company operates in three countries. Apart from that, our footprint will be expanded into Bangladesh and Nepal, and we are already establishing our service portfolios in these countries as well. And our next step is into also to look into other possible countries like in Africa and other areas as well. So with that, let's take a look at what we do. So when we go to the next slide, what we do. Okay, so ProClime as a climate company, we are focused on four verticals. Basically, carbon projects. When I say carbon projects, it will include end-to-end development of carbon projects as well as carbon portfolio management. Then carbon trading, climate investment, and advisory services. So having these four verticals creates the perfect ecosystem where we can actually provide that service to any climate crisis and create that opportunity and bring that opportunity into some sort of a sustainable and manageable program under these four verticals. So with this, I would like to go into the actual subject matter today. Why IREX for Sri Lanka? So, I mean, this is the crux of the whole thing, because IREX is a new subject to most of the organizations in Sri Lanka. So, I mean, let's see what are the benefits that brings about from IREX being part of Sri Lanka's carbon market. So number one, it enhances the transparency of renewable energy use by providing a globally recognized tracking mechanism that actually certifies the origin of the electricity from it says that it is from renewable energy. So this is very helpful for Sri Lanka to have that credibility, right? And also it builds the trust and transparency in the renewable energy claims. Of course, aligning with the international best practices in the energy accounting, also one of the benefits that we envisage in having IREX present in Sri Lanka. Next is that it definitely attracts corporate buyers and climate conscious investors. So as a country where we are lacking in direct investment, this would provide a better opportunity where multinational companies with net zero targets or RE100 commitments increasingly demand the credible renewable energy certificates. So by having IREX issuance in Sri Lanka, we can attract foreign direct investments, which is a much needed thing in Sri Lanka right now. And also it will support green exports and low carbon value chains. Right, moving on. It also supports the Sri Lanka NDCs and net zero goals. As you know, the Sri Lanka just updated its NDC goals of net zero. So Sri Lanka's NDCs are to reduce emissions and increase the share of renewable energy. And also based on this, IREX can actually complement national monitoring, reporting and verification, so MRV systems, also serve as a tool to incentivize clean energy deployment without direct subsidies. Next slide, please. Okay, so item number 4 is that unlocking the new revenue streams for renewable energy projects as local project developers, solar, wind, hydro, or biomass can monetize the environmental attributes by selling IREX to international buyers. This will in turn improve the project bankability, which is increasing the credibility of our projects, and help scale up small and medium scale renewable projects as well. Number 5 is establishing a market readiness for carbon pricing and green markets. By participating in direct markets in Sri Lanka, we can build institutional capacity for future carbon pricing. I mean, we can kind of lead the market because, I mean, right now, Sri Lanka is going into renewable energy in big time because there are a lot of initiatives by the government as well. So we need to lead the market because that will create the right pricing in the market as well, and prepare for the potential carbon border adjustment mechanism, which is called CBAM, for export markets like EU. So this is something that all of the export oriented industries in Sri Lanka, export oriented to Europe, EU countries, we need to be aware of that CBAM is right around the corner, and this will definitely support the IREX will definitely support this CBAM compliance as well. Then finally, the regional leadership and climate diplomacy. So by becoming an early adapter, IREX in South Asia, Sri Lanka can position itself as the regional leader in climate markets and mechanism, and it can also drive the pricing mechanisms on IREX as well. A partner for international climate finance and technical support. So all in all, IREX is a new tool. It has so much of benefits, and we need to actively support our Sri Lankan renewable energy producers in actually delivering these additional revenue streams apart from the above mentioned benefits. So this can really create impactful activity for Sri Lanka renewable energy market. And also, this is not exhaustive list. There's a huge list of the benefits that we can talk about, but these comprise of the key benefits that can be derived from IREX for Sri Lanka. So with that, I would like to hand over the slides to Neetu to take you through the market scale and opportunities that is available. Over to you, Neetu.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Rukman. Very good evening, everyone. So, as Mr. Rukman introduced you to what ProClime does and what are the potentials and why IREX are, a growing market into Sri Lanka. Now, taking that further, I'll discuss at a global level and at the national Sri Lankan level that what are the climate change, why it is a challenge as well as an opportunity. So in this slide, you can see that there are about 48,400 million metric tons, out of which only a small portions are tapped through carbon taxes, compliance or voluntary markets. So as you can see, nearly 80% is still untapped. So there we can see a great scale and an opportunity. So this is at a global level. Now coming to the Sri Lanka, from this pie chart, you can see clearly that the major of the emission sources comes from power, agriculture and manufacturing. So when you focus upon these, these sectors with renewable energies, so with the help of green industries, we can create a real impact into the Sri Lankan emerging carbon markets. Next slide, please. Yeah. Now, what is the market growth? So as you can see, the compliance market contributes around 850 billions, while the voluntary carbon markets accounts for 2 billions only. But there is a point to catch that, as you can see in the trajectory, how it goes for the voluntary carbon markets, it is increasingly in an upward manner, and by 2030, we are assuming to see the voluntary market to grow by 40 billions. So you can see how fast the companies and the organizations, taking this taking this climate change a very serious concern, and how they are working into this field. Next slide, please. Yeah. So when we talk about carbon market, first of all, we should understand what is, the scope 1, scope 2 and scope 3, what it really means into carbon accounting. Okay. So I'll tell you with a simple example. So scope 1, which are direct emissions, scope 2, those are indirect emissions, and scope 3 account for all the other indirect emissions. Now, suppose a company who is, using delivery trucks for its usage, in that case, the fuel consumption is directly from the vehicle that is, owned by the company. So in that case, that is a direct emission. Okay. Now, when we come to scope 2, suppose a company is using electricity for its usage, although it is using electricity, but it is not producing that electricity. In that case, it comes under scope 2. Now, a company is using papers, although it is not using papers for it, not it's using paper for its internal usage, but it is not producing that paper that has been produced by some other organization. So that comes under scope 3, because ultimately that paper production has also caused some emissions. So that comes account for scope 3. So in a nutshell, we can say when we burn the fossil fuels ourselves, that comes under scope 1. When we use indirectly or someone else burns to give us electricity, that comes under scope 2. And when we are we have suppliers or consumers who burn on our behalf, that comes under scope 3. Next slide, please. Now let us understand what are IREX. So IREX, as you can say, these are internationally recognized energy attribute certificates. So why this is important and how, what is the usage of this? Suppose there is an industry who is, consuming brown electricity. So because of that consumption, we have, various consequences of climate change, that is rising sea levels, extreme weathers, and the health impact, economic impacts, and crop failures. So in that case, yeah, so what you can do to reduce all these consequences, either you procure the electricity from a renewable energy resource, or you can buy IREX, or you can itself use electricity, or you can itself install a renewable plant. Okay, so these are the ways by which you can reduce the climate impact being an industry who uses brown electricity. Next slide, please. Yeah. Now, what are IREX and how do they work? So first of all, I'll tell the quantity. So one IREX, that is one IREX certificate, is equals to 1 megawatt hour of power, that produced from a renewable sources, which translates proportional to the reduction in the emission from a fossil fuel plant. Okay. Now, why these IREX are getting so much traction into the global market? So the first thing, it ensures transparency. The IREC, what that get issued, it is issued from a very robust registry, okay, through all the checks, through all the audits, and it eliminates double accounting as well. Okay, so when you are purchasing an IREC for your industrial use to get go green, okay, in that case, it is very much assured that this renewable energy certificate, which has been produced by by producing power from a renewable source, has not been utilized or has not been sorted by any other mechanism. So there is no usage of or no chance of double accounting. And why these IREX are so much globally recognized? Because they are compliant with the major 4 frameworks, that is under RE100, science-based targets, GHG protocols, and SBTIs. So as of now, these are recognized in more than 67 countries, that is giving a widespread global adaptation, and around 79.97 crores of IREX have been redeemed worldwide as of August 2025. So because of all these, the transparency, this double accounting, and a robust registry certified system, it boosts investors' confidence that why they should go, for their scope 2 reduction, they should choose these IREX. Next slide, please. Yeah. As I told that the major 4 frameworks under a global level are RE100, CDP, GHG protocol, and SBTIs. So why, I should tell that why all these companies are, who are eligible to use IREX are basically fall under these 4 categories, that is RE100. So let me decode all these one by one for you. So RE100 is a global initiative where an organization who have listed themselves into RE100, they pledge to get renewable 100% under a specific time delay. Okay, for example, by 2030, the organizations are planning to go 100% renewable. So that is one framework. Now, other coming is GHG protocol. So GHG protocol is also an internationally recognized framework for understanding, quantifying for the usage of IREX under their scope 2 emissions effectively. And SBTI, so science-based target initiatives. So those companies who align with the science-based targets, suppose they want to reduce, they pledge that by using these IREX, they fall under this category. They want to reduce, they will help reducing the climate by 1.5 degrees centigrade. So these companies who fall under SBTIs are also eligible to consume IREX. Similarly, that is for CDP as well. That also, falls to evaluate and audit consumer IREX. Next slide, please. Now, as I told in my earlier slide as well, that why they, due to the availability of these IREX under global level and the demands of IREX, so you can see nearly 92% of the Fortune 500 and global companies, they have switched to renewable energy and reduce their GHG emissions. So this helps navigating the corporate sustainability, that what role they can play in reducing these climate changes. So by purchasing these IREX, ultimately the organizations are reaching their sustainability goals. Next slide, please. Yeah. Now let us understand what is the complete IREX cycle and how it can help, being an industry, how it can help you to understand that how an IREX works, the cycle works. So suppose there is an cement industry which is headed by Mr. Adam, and the industry is consuming 1 lakh units per year, okay, out of which 50% is from the DISCOM and 50% is from the open access or captive power plant. Okay, now since the industry is obliged only on consumption from open access sources alone, now the power from DISCOM obligation is on DISCOM only. So it states worldwide that the company should use it, or you should go against to use it for the renewables. So what option Mr. Adam has? So he has two options. Either he needs to consume the non-solar 5,000 units and solar 3,000 units, which is not available in his area or in premises. So he's bound to meet his RE100 company compliance and CDP or SBTI. So what he can do is he can purchase those non-solar and solar IREX from the, being a consultant, for example, from ProClime. In that case, when he is obliged with his, with his parameters that yes, he want to go net zero, he want to purchase the renewable energy sources. So when he's purchasing these IREX, in that case, Mr. Adam and his industry, after purchasing these IREX, can consider meeting their RE100 GHG or SBTI compliance, and as IREX is equivalent to green power. So this is what the complete whole cycle looks like. Like if a company is not obliged, he is not having that chance to have that renewable plant into his premises. So this is the other option of how he can purchase IREX and meet his RE100 SBT or CDP targets. Next slide, please. Yeah. Now let us understand what the projects from Sri Lanka which are eligible under IREX. Okay. So we have different types of projects. For example, we have hydro dam-based projects, runoff river projects, pumped storage hydro projects. Okay. Now, there are two categories. One is the on-grid projects, that is selling power, for example, to Ceylon Electricity Board. Another one are the off-grid projects. So let us understand for the on-grid projects. So those projects who are not getting or not availing any concessional benefits are eligible under Sri Lankan IREX category. Okay, means those projects can be registered under IREX and then those IREX can be traded. Now coming to the off-grid projects, that is captive. In that case, if the power is being sold to obligated entities with any applicable green power, like under RPO obligations, or they are availing any subsidies, concessional benefits, or wheeling and banking agreements, or in case of double accounting, suppose the project is already registered into any voluntary carbon market like VCS, GS, or any compliance market, CDM. In that case also, the projects are not at all eligible to go under IREX registry. So this is what all about the eligibility criteria for the projects from Sri Lanka. Now, next slide, please. Yeah. Now, earlier we have understood which projects are eligible under Sri Lankan government. Okay, like how can they get into eligibility. Now, once we have checked the eligibility of the projects by thorough documentation and everything. Now here comes the IREC project cycle. So it is distributed into 3 categories. First is the registration, second is the issuance, third is the trading. So in registration, first of all, as I told, we will check for the project eligibility, whether that project that has come for registration is eligible or not. Once it quantifies all the checklists that yes, it is eligible, it has not got any double accounting, it has not got any concessional benefits like that, that project is eligible. So we'll start registering that project into IREC registry, that is the evident registry, GCC. In that case, there are n number of documents, a set of documents which are submitted and which we get from the project owner itself. And we, being the project consultant for ProClime, we will submit on behalf of the project owner to the evident registry. So it is a process how it goes on, that once all the projects are submitted to the evident registry, we do a thorough checkup, and in case if they have any queries, they will reach out to us, the registrant, like on behalf of project owners, we are the registrant, ProClime. So they will ask questions if they have any queries, and once all the queries are resolved, the project is in line with all their eligibilities, the project will get registered. Okay, once that project gets registered, you can get the public available ID of that particular project, and you can very well see that project listed on the evident registry. Okay, so the project owner, once the registrant informed that yes, your project has been successfully registered by ProClime, then the project owner can itself check publicly that yes, my project has been registered on the evident registry and this is the particular project ID. Now the registration process gets completed. Now come to the issuance. So now we are starting with the issuance of that credits IREX from that particular project. In that case, we get the generation reports. We request the generation reports for whatever period we want to get the IREX issued from the project owner. Once we get it from the project owner, we submit it to the evident registry. And once it's again, that the checks have gone through the registry, the issuance gets completed. Now, once the registration has happened, issuance has also happened, the IREX have been issued. Now the process of final trading comes. This is like how the trading desk of a registrant, they trade the IREX. So a trading, you can say, it is a very market driven dynamic platform that yes, seeing upon the market what price we are getting, what is the demand, the trade of those IREX happen. So these are the 3 processes: registration, issuance, and trading. Now coming to the IREC registry, let us discuss who is the issuer. Okay, so issuer is the registry who issues these IREX. Okay, so in that case, in Sri Lankan case, we have GCC as the issuer, and the registrant is the person who is registering their project. Okay, so it can be the project owner itself, or it can be the consultant on behalf of the project owner. So in case if you are registering via ProClime, so ProClime is being the registrant. So for that, you should have a registrant and participant account. Now for participant, for trading these IREX, you should have a trade account, you should have a redemption account, and users also. So this is what all about the IREC registry and different stakeholders, the issuer, the registrant, and the IREC participant. Next slide, please. Now, once your IREX have been registered, your IREX have been issued, and it has been redeemed. So how does the IREX certificate looks like? So this is a sample certificate we have given to give you an idea that you being an organization, when you purchase IREX for for fulfilling your scope 2, this is how the certificate actually looks like. Yeah. Next question, please. Now, this is a traction of how the IREC issuance is happening globally. As you can see, the trajectory is moving upward, and year by year the issuance is increasing. That's a very good sign that how the IREC market is growing. And for 2025, definitely we are in the middle of the year, so the graph is lower, but definitely we are very much positive that the graph for this year also would be positive only. Next slide, please. Yeah, so here also you can see how the issuance and the redemption goes on year by year. This is for for global and for India level, for Sri Lanka level, and how the progress is going on. So here we have shown the comparison between the issuance and the redemption. Next slide, please. Yeah. So as I've explained how the uh, sorry, how the IREC market is growing and year by year, how the issuance is going on, how the redemption is going on. Now let us see what are the ProClime services, like what we provide you. So as Mr. Rukman told earlier itself, that we work upon 4 dynamics, that is carbon projects, carbon investments, advisories, and climate trade, carbon trades as well. So for the investment advisory, we have guided sustainable investment decisions for climate related opportunities. We also help in carbon offsetting, that is balancing carbon emissions from high integrity projects. Climate consultation also we provide, that is we provide expert advices on climate related strategic investments. Also, if you are looking for any certifications or validation, support in registration and certifications as per standards. So this is what all ProClime as an ecosystem provides. It's an inbuilt, all services are provided under one roof only, that is starting from carbon projects, carbon portfolios, trading, investments, and advisories. Next slide, please. Yeah. So as we have got our presence in India, headquartered in Singapore and in Sri Lanka, so you can reach out to us for any of your queries regarding IREX. Being an industry person, being a person who wants to know more about IREX, we are very much open to that. And with this, we, whatever we can show you, we can present you, we have shown in the presentation. Now, I think we are good to go with the Q&A sessions where Mr. Balan can help us. Over to you, Balan.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Neetu. Thanks for the wonderful presentation. I think we have a query. Hi, team. So please feel free to drop a queries in Q&A. So there is a first query. Can you share the PPT presentation and downloading? Yes, of course. After this webinar, definitely we'll send you the presentation. And the query from Mr. Sachin Govinda. Shouldn't both renewable energy producer and direct consumer connected to the same grid system? Yes, it depends on the consumer side. For example, for renewable generator or consumer in the same country, the system which you are following, like RE100 or CDP or SBTA, the protocol which you are following to fulfill your offset your emission, based on the ground reality and site conditions, they are following the rules. If you are following RE100, definitely the project generator or consumer should be in the same country. The next one is, any IREC issued by Sri Lankan company be traded only in Sri Lanka buyer, or it can be traded in the other country? Definitely not. If it can be traded in other country as well. There is in registrant. In registry there is 2 kind of accounts. One is registrant and other one is participant. Through trader account, you can transfer the credit one country to other country, but redemption point, while you are redeeming the certificate, it depends on the country where you are redeeming the certificate. I think Ms. Tushita Perez, I hope I've answered your queries. Because both renewable energy producer, IREC consume don't need connected to the same grid system while transferring the credit. What are the emerging trends in solar or wind project development in next 5 years? This is particularly in Sri Lanka, yes, based on the nationally determined contribution taken by the Sri Lankan government. The emerging field of renewable is one of the major emerging field. Definitely the growth of the renewable sector will go higher level. So project level development side.
So let me add on to that same question. So basically, as Balan correctly mentioned, under the Sri Lanka NDC 3.0, for the renewable energy, I think the target is to be 70% of the energy requirement to be supplied by renewable sources by 2050. So I think therefore there will be a quite a push towards getting this target sorted. So there'll be a lot of incentives and kind of facilities be provided by the governments as well. And obviously, as I mentioned, for small and medium scale operators, having IREX as a tool will also support in additional revenue, which will generate further revenue for their investment into small scale renewable projects in Sri Lanka as well. Yeah.
Rukman, thank you so much. The next question from Priyanta, ma'am. So the IREX scheme has no conflict with Sri Lanka possession or NDCs, has been unfortunately carbon credit arrest Sri Lankan RE projects. Carbon credit, if you are claiming the carbon credit, definitely that project will not claiming IREX because it's going to be double counting. So either one way only you have to get the credit. Once, if you are claiming the carbon credit, you are not eligible to claim IREX system. So the next question is, if we have IREX, can you find a buyer for the same? Yes, of course, we'll help you to find the buyer. Mr. Sachin, yes, we are here. We have a different trade desk. Our team will help you. So please, after this webinar, please connect our team. We are very happy to help you to trade. The next question from Tushita, ma'am. What type of program are you planning to conduct promote IREX within listed companies in itself? This is a very interesting question. Yes, of course. We have already in pipeline for the listed companies. Our team already touched with many of the listed companies in Sri Lanka. Their organization scope of services. Yes, Mr. Sachin Kavind. Our scope of service, that's what Mr. Rukman has clearly explained while presenting initial presentations. So we are one of the unified service provider in this domain. So our scope is carbon trading, climate investment, and carbon project and advisory services. This is the four key vertical which we are as of now working and developing the project, identify the project, analyze the project, and evaluate the project. And after this, then we'll initiate the registration with various registries which is suitable for your project. Then issue the credit based on the validation verification, and we'll identify the potential buyer to monetize the credit as well. This question from Mr. Trizan. Is there limitation for age of R100 plan for issue IREX? There is no limitation actually, to be frank, because based on the consumer side, the one which we are taking RE100 protocol or SBTI and listed CDP, they have certain criteria, which is very limited amount of year of commissioning projects only they are consuming the credit. Apart from this, the project once it's commissioned, definitely it produce green power. There is two kind of power. One is green power, other one is brown power. Either if you are selling power to the consumer, only power if you are selling, that's called brown power. The attributes with you have the ownership. That you have liability to register under IREX ecosystem and claim the credit and sell it in the market. So it depends on the consumer side, ma'am, where the consumer.
Here I would like to, Alan, here I would like to add one thing. When Mr. Tushita has asked what is the limitation for the age of the RE plant to issue IREX. So to answer this question, I would like to explain that in IREX there are two criteria, that is RE100 and non-RE100. Okay, so those projects which are commissioned beyond 15 years, means older than 15 years, are classified as non-RE100, and those projects under 15 years are RE100. Okay, so the pricing when it comes to RE100, that is for newer projects that are within 15 years, get a higher price as compared to the plants that are older than 15 years. So this is how the classification occurs when you are asking for the age of a RE plant. So while trading, while actually doing the trades, this factor does affect the price, that for the projects which are older than 15 years will have a lesser price, and those projects which are within 15 years complying with RE100 will have a higher price. So I think I have added to that, the limitations of the age of the RE plant for the better understanding.
So the next question is, state policy SL is not grant carbon credit for RE projects in account of misunderstanding of NDC. How they work against RE project SL? Have you checked how well REC is accepted within SL state policy? Yes.
So let me explain that one. So I think for renewable energy projects, no more carbon credits are in vogue now. So it is IREX anyway. So in terms of acceptance by the government, I think there has been for certain later new projects, there is a clause by the CEB, which is that RECs will be kind of taken over by the CEB. But apart from that, for any non-solicited programs, I think these RECs are perfectly acceptable. And also, this rule is applicable only for projects which are, I think, signed after August last year. And there's actively the renewable energy teams are actively talking to the CEB teams to understand why this policy has been taken in. So there is a considerable amount of discussions and negotiations, whilst we are also supporting the renewable energy teams to substantiate their case in providing the green attribute to be kept by the renewable energy producer himself, and also from a point of third party engage in this one. We are also trying to set up this dialogue with the CEB and try and work with them to convert their credits or directs into and monetize them through the ProClime initiatives. So these are the activities we are doing to enable Sri Lanka to have IREX within the Sri Lanka policy. And overall, another aspect to this is that currently, though NDC supports renewable energy projects, there is no specific policy guiding on carbon trading as well as IREX. So this is the dilemma that the state organizations as well as private entities are facing in deciding how we should go forward. So there is, as you say, there is a little bit of gray area, but hoping this will be sorted out towards the end of the year. And we are actively participating in these discussions with the relevant line ministries as well. Yeah.
Thank you, Rukman. Thank you so much for adding the valuable insights and updates. Ms. Priyanta, I hope Mr. Rukman has answered your queries.
I think we have come to the end of the questions. I think we have got a very engaging audience, and thank you for your active participation, asking all these questions. And please do reach out to us. We'll be sending you a quick survey, a feedback survey. You can fill out the form, and also we'll give you our contact official mail where you can reach out to us through those mails. And Mr. Rukman is our country head. You can reach out to him. Anything you want for IREC or any other projects. And once again, thank you very much to all the speakers for your wonderful time and sharing all your insights and knowledge. We have many more events, many more webinars and offline events also that we organize. We would encourage you to be in touch with us through our website, get to know and also participate for anything that we organize in the future. Good to have you in this webinar, and we look forward to meeting you again. Thank you.
Thank you.
For this
Thank you.
opportunity, for this webinar.
Yes, thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you so much.